All right, you beautiful humans, if you have the iPhone 12 mini or the iPhone SE 2, or you're still thinking about making that purchase of either of these devices, but you're actually concerned about the battery life, then these two options that I have tested and reviewed may actually help you make a more informed buying decision. Now, of course, whether you're new around here or not, just a quick reminder that I have reviewed both of these devices. I still use both of these phones, and many of the questions that I get from the community are specifically about the battery life. And of course, with the SE2 coming in significantly less than the 12 mini as far as price, and it really seems to continue to outpace as far as selling, whereas the 12 mini seems to have a harder time finding that foothold in the space. And I think the $300 price jump, US that is, it's pretty significant for a lot of folks. But let me also emphasize here that both of these phones are extremely capable, they are responsive, and regardless of whether you might think that the SE2 is an old design compared to the latest iPhones and some of the other devices available, and as much as I personally, I love the squared off design of the 12, I do still think that the SE2 is pretty slick. And not to mention, I always talk about it, that Touch ID. And of course, let me preface here that having to invest in an additional accessory just to get the most out of your phone, like basic function, may not seem like the best investment outside of a case and a screen protector. But hey, if this is actually where you are, then let's actually cross that bridge together. And so the accessories and the data from the testing I'm going to be sharing with you, starting off with a battery-powered case from Omidi, which actually charges via the Lightning adapter for the iPhone SE2 specifically because it actually fits that phone. And of course, the Tau keychain charger from Rolling Square for the iPhone 12 mini, although the Tau can actually be used for either device, and if you have USB-C devices or a micro USB device. Now, of course, with the SE2 having the 1821 milliamp hour battery, getting a screen on time of about 4 hours and 45 minutes toward the end of a business day and fairly consistent use, although I do need to preface here that this involves using the phone as I would normally, and that's picking it up, putting it down, rather than just continuously streaming, like streaming content nonstop. Although with a battery-powered case like this, you can certainly stream until your heart's content. And with the iPhone 12 mini's battery coming in higher at 2227 milliamp hours, the chipset having a very slight edge as far as efficiency is concerned, although it does have 5G, and if that's turned on, getting about a screen on time of 6 hours and 17 minutes, give or take, with approximately 5 to 10% on that battery well into the late evening. And to reiterate, it's the same use case. It's not sustained streaming, but it's how I pick it up, put it down, use it for Twitter, answering lots of comments on YouTube Studio, some YouTube videos if I can actually get a chance to catch up on those when I do have a chance, and definitely several podcasts throughout the day, and just, general tasks, note-taking, and emails. But starting with the battery case, this actually comes in at 3200 milliamp hours. And in my testing, this is actually what I found. So first up to note, the case itself does have a soft microfiber-like material to protect the back of your phone, which I really do like. I really like that feature. I mean, it shouldn't even be a feature. It should just be a given in all these cases, especially with the glass back. But the top portion is soft and not rigid like the battery portion. So this is actually where you'll be able to bend the back and slide the phone in and out. Although I will say sliding the phone out, once it is already in, sliding the phone out, it does actually take a little bit of effort, and it's not something you want to do all the time. And of course, the case and the phone combined come in at about 9 ounces or 258 grams. So there's actually a little bit of heft to it when compared to the 12 mini with a case on it, coming in at around 5.9 ounces and 168 grams, just to kind of compare the two. It appears slimmer than a lot of the battery cases out there that I've kind of played around with, researched, reviewed, and worked with. But honestly, there is actually some noticeable bulk when holding the phone or if you're actually keeping it in your pocket. So of course, in my testing, I did find that when charging it from being completely drained, or rather drained enough that the phone shuts off, when pressing the button on the back to start charging it, it appears that it's not charging right away. However, after waiting several minutes, the phone did start up when the battery actually reached 3%. And of course, I continued to charge it from that 3% and was able to achieve a full 100% charge in about 2 hours, give or take. But as a reminder, that's also to preserve the battery health, because as you're starting to get closer to 100, it starts to slow down. And then, of course, I did use the phone as I normally would, and I got it back down to about 5%, attempted to charge it again only from the case, and I was able to get that phone to about 79% with a little bit of light use in between during that time. And of course, to note, when charging from the lightning port on the case, like when you plug it in from the wall charger into the case itself, it actually charges both the phone and the case simultaneously together. And so once that case is fully charged, the phone is fully charged, you unplug it on that full charge, run it down, and then you can charge it right back up with the battery case, run it down again, and then charge it back up to about 70 to 80%, depending on your particular use. And of course, a quick push of the button on the back of the case, it'll actually illuminate and give you kind of an approximate availability of power based on the LEDs that are displayed on the back. Now, of course, rolling over to the keychain battery from Rolling Square, we have the Tau, which has a 1400 milliamp hour battery, or capacity rather, and 2 flat cables that are attached to the device. And one of those are actually featuring a USB Type-C connectivity, and the other is Lightning. However, the interesting piece about the Lightning one is that it also has the ability to plug directly into a micro USB device. Now, of course, it does come in an eco-friendly box, which I would say that it held up in its travels on its way from, international travel. But I would actually recommend to Rolling Square like some better packaging to better secure the contents, because it does just come in a plastic envelope. But as far as the shipping is concerned, I did reach out directly to Rolling Square about any kind of international shipping to make sure that they shipped everywhere, and they do ship everywhere according to some back and forth with their customer service reps. Now, of course, in the box, you do also get the dock that is actually powered via a USB Type-A to micro USB cable, so not Type-C. And it does actually come with some wall mounting options, which is just some small screws and some wall anchors and some adhesive if you wanted to actually mount it to the wall. And of course, for me, the key ring isn't something that I'd use. And if you're also like thinking the same as far as likely using it more as a clip, so clipping it to your belt or kind of like the inside of your pocket or whatever. But honestly, I feel like it's about the size of AirPods in the case, so I actually just pop it in my pocket. And as far as the testing is concerned, I did primarily use it with the 12 mini, although I also tested it on the SE2, and for whatever ridiculous reasons, I also did it on the Gen 4 iPad Air. But on the SE2, I was able to get about a 40% bump there as far as that charge is concerned, until the towel just basically, it ran out of battery. And of course, on the iPhone 12 mini, I was able to get about a 37% bump charge on that one. And on the iPad Air, which, hey, seriously, if that is all you got and you need about a 10% bump, give or take, then that's pretty much what you're going to get, because it's trying to push like this small milliamp hour battery, trying to push a much larger milliamp hour battery. Yeah, I would say stick with your iPhones and smaller devices for something like the Tau, but it is great because, like I said, it just fits right in the pocket and you're good to go. One thing to note, though, is that on the end, and there is a warning label here, that on the end of the Tau, it does get pretty hot. So be careful when you touch it. It does heat up while it's actually charging your device. And of course, yes, there are those wireless charging options, but that type of charging can create some heat, especially when you're trying to use your device. And that could also be kind of inconvenient as well, but it still can be a great option. I'm not saying that it's not, but I just wanted to test these two options because it pretty much is, especially with the battery case for the SE2, you pretty much put it on and you're good to go. And with the Tau, it's pretty easy just to charge this thing up, pop it in your pocket. I mean, a very satisfying click and you're good to go. So if you're grabbing keys or grabbing your everyday carry, it has such a small footprint. So I just wanted to test these two options. And of course, I know that the easy response may be to get a device that has a larger capacity battery. But if you want an iPhone and your budget only allows for the SE2 or the 12 mini, or you really just like that form factor, hey, I get it. But in my testing, these are a couple of great options. And speaking of options, if you want to hang out with me here in the comment section below, definitely do that, or over on Twitter. These are the two places that I'll be. And of course, you go out there and do those things that matter. Keep rocking those faces. And until we meet again, I'll catch you right back here on the next one.